Hey there YouTube, how are you doing? I am Z-Town Train. This is just a basic dude vlog. And I got super sick of doing countertop reviews, so we're doing a review on top of a Coleman cooler in my garage. I thought that would be funny. Today's subject of review, I was getting set up to do a more active review, kind of like we did with the Coleman stove, and more like my reviews were a few years ago, a little bit less of the talkie-talkie and a little bit more of the working with the stuff on the table. But let me tell you, when you do a gear review or a knife review and you have to bring a Ziploc bag to the review, that is a bad sign, okay? So this is the Sarge knives, SK-940. It is a knockoff of the K-Bar military marine fighting knife. The story about this knife is that I was looking for a bigger knife that I could buy for my wife to take camping. I've always kept a bunch of knives around, you know, fixed blades, folding knives, stuff like that, at least for enough for people to use. And I wanted her to have something cool and big, and like I was trying to get her something that was bigger than my knife or what have you. I wanted her to enjoy the camping trip and enjoy the knife. Now, I know personally that most K-Bar knockoffs are mall ninja crap, but I'm also the cheap guy. So unfortunately, I spent $40, $30 on the knife, $10 on shipping, and I bought the Sarge SK-940. And it is based on the K-Bar pattern knife. It comes with this sheath. As you can tell, it's kind of dirty. We took it camping twice. Didn't use it a whole lot. The sheath for the SK-940 has a little pocket on the front with a little tiny whetstone in it, or at least it did have a whetstone. I can't find it right now. And then the knife itself looks like this. Unfortunately, the pommel end looks like this. Now, as you could tell, if you look at that, that metal at the end is broken. There was a little tiny tip of metal at the end, and that has broken. That is the end of a rat tail tang, and it's possibly, I thought this might have been a double rat tail, but it is a single rat tail tang. And if you look, that end is smaller than actually the rest of the tang was. The reason for that being is that it was driven into and glued into this weight that is the butt end of the knife. The pommel end of the knife was just basically a weight that was forced on and glued. If you can look and see, you can see that there is glue on that, and the glue has come gross. It basically, the glue turned bad. It feels wet. I do not know why the knife wasn't wet. Looking at this, I think that the lighting for this video is bad, but I'm gonna push through because I don't really want, I like to make my videos really genuine. And so if this is a bad place to make a video, it's just a bad place to make a video, and we'll work on a better one next time. Above that weight were these pieces of plastic. And the pieces of plastic were a circle of plastic, and they all went together around that rat tail tang like this, and made a circle there above this base plate glued on plastic ring that was then driven onto that tiny piece of the rat tail tang and glued to the leather part, or faux leather. They look like real leather rings. They're probably real leather rings. Part of the knife. When I first bought it, I noticed that the hand guard was a little bit loose. But you know what? That's something that you have to work with, even with like some real K-Bars come and that thing's loose, or the older ones, that thing's a little bit loose. That's something you have to work with. It is the right size, shape, all of those things. This is the Sarge SK-940. It was on Amazon. Some other things about the knife: almost impossible to sharpen to an edge. I could not get this metal to sharpen to an edge, and worked at it. I worked at it using a small Smith's sharpener for a long time, and then I used a flat edge, a flat whetstone. Could not make an edge good and sharp to save my life. Even now, after literally a couple of hours of trying to sharpen it over the past couple years, I just cannot get this metal to take an edge. It will not sharpen. There is no way to get it to. I do not know why this knife won't take an edge, but long before the glue came apart and then this thing literally just broke into pieces, the plastic ring. I did not use it to hammer anything in the way that you sometimes abuse a knife that's like this. Something you take camping or something the military uses to fight, like a fighting knife. Sometimes you abuse them and you like hammering a tent stake or do something like that. The first time you had done this with this, it would break. I did not do that with this. I've never abused this knife. The most I've done is sharpened it and used it to try and cut a couple things up camping, and literally just stopped using it completely. And then kept it around because it was my wife's knife. I wanted her to have a nice one. And it just wasn't. You know, all the way around, it was pretty disappointing. The steel that it's made out of is not good. Will not take an edge, and then the end of it just broke. And if you look, it's this weird porous kind of cast metal. The handle stayed together pretty good, even through some use. As you see there, here is the name, brand, and SK-940 on the back. And I know, man, I know that I know better. I know better. Does that make sense? You get what you pay for when you buy a knife sometimes. And this was cheap. And I was like, I took a risk that was probably stupid to take. Especially when I was buying a knife for somebody else. To be totally honest, it was a bad risk. And this knife turned out to be a bad idea. You know, it could have went the other way. It could have been awesome. It could have been $30 for something that we could have just taken camping. My wife could have used. It's not like she's going to use it every day. Chopping wood or something, you know what I mean? But I feel like just trying to use it without an edge on it was impossible. And then on top of that, literally went to get it out of my closet, noticed that this was loose when I pulled it out. I grabbed it out of the top of the closet. It was just sitting up there on a shelf, noticed this was loose, grabbed it, wiggled it, and didn't even twist. I don't do things like, I don't put my muscle into something like that. I just wiggled it a little, and that little plastic piece broke apart to pieces. All of the glue was completely loose, just loose, like it wasn't glued into anything, and it was ruined, basically. I mean, I suppose you could still use it the way that it is, but it's, you know, it's ruined for her. It really ruined the experience for me. So what I'm saying is I seriously do not recommend the Sarge SK-940. And anyone that's smart that watches this channel, anyone that goes camping already or buys knives to collect or to use would have already known that $30 was very cheap and that you get what you pay for. So part of the responsibility is definitely on me. I knew what I was doing when I bought it. I am not saying that I was surprised that it broke, but I am coming here to you to tell you that it did break, okay? So do not buy the Sarge SK-940. It is not good quality. You cannot sharpen it. It just will not take an edge. And the butt broke, like, from not doing anything, really. It didn't do much. She's never put it through anything. We've never hammered anything with it. I'm not sure if she liked it exactly or not from the beginning. I think when she saw it, she thought that I'd bought her some kind of big cheesy knife. Maybe. I don't know. But it was hers, and I do feel awful about breaking it. But, you know, the other part of that responsibility is on a company that made a bad product. Now that it's the end of the video, I would like to talk about something. I'm never going to put this in my title of the video. I'm never going to put it in the description of the video, and I would never use something like this to get views for myself, because I think that is really just really YouTube-y and weird and gross, and I would never do that. But I do want to say that one of the YouTubers that I've always really enjoyed watching passed away. He had a fight with cancer. He was a very interesting man who made very interesting videos. I cannot say that he inspired my videos because I don't put the research in and do not have the years of knowledge that he had. His name was Paul Harrell. He had an amazing channel. He had very interesting videos, cool gun videos, where he would talk about all different kinds of things: self-defense situations, police situations, military situations, how to shoot, stances, the way that you hold your gun, safety, all kinds of safety information, ballistics information, real world stuff where he would test ballistics against the charts and tell you, hey, this is the way that this performed, and this is the way this is performed in my experience over years. And just a very interesting and cool guy. They are going to keep his channel going. His brother and his crew are keeping their channel going, which is very neat. I think that's awesome. They're keeping Paul's videos up, and I think it's great that they're going to make new content. And I just wanted to say that I was thinking about Paul today, especially after his video came out talking about his passing. And YouTubers in not only the gun YouTube community, which I wish I was good enough. I own guns, I shoot guns. I'm not an expert like these guys that make these videos are at all. But I do enjoy their videos a lot. I've watched his videos. He's been on YouTube forever, but I've only watched his videos for maybe 7 or 8 years. I've been on YouTube, not making videos, but had this account for at least 11 years. And found him a few years back, and I found his videos to be just really informative and interesting. So I wanted to shout out his family, and I would never deign to say anything more than my condolences go out to his family, and I feel like we really lost a big part of YouTube, not just the gun community, but also part of just the outdoor community in general. It made such a big impact losing Paul. And he made some great videos, and he put out stuff like all the way up to the end. And I think that his family should be very proud of him, and that my heart goes out to you, and that is all that I will say. But I felt like I wanted that in here, and just in case someday, you know what, if one of them sees this video, I was thinking about you. But I'm never putting that in the title. I'm never putting it in the description. I would never even think of trying to get a click off of that, and I put it at the end of the video because nobody watches my videos to the end anyway. I am Z-Town Train. This is just a basic dude vlog, and I am out of here. You guys have a great day. I'll see ya.